Hello and welcome to Headliners, your first look at Saturday's newspapers. I'm Andrew Doyle. I'm joined tonight by two comedians. One is available on all platforms, that's Steve N. Allen, and the recently disgraced and banned from X, Bruce Devlin. This is apparently about hammers. You got banned about hammers?
Yeah, because you know that old Scottish phrase, I'll take a hammer to you?
Yes.
Well, someone had put up about a TikToker demanding free food, and I just said, take a hammer to her, and they banned me.
Well, they think you're inciting violence, but you're just being Scottish.
But I had winking...
Very similar.
Well, I had winking emojis.
But then that undermines everything.
Well, that's what I put in my appeal. I went, this is ridiculous. Look at the nuance. Look at the emojis. How dare you treat me like this? And it's not the first time I've used that phrase.
Well, that is absurd. But you, of course, Steve, are behaving well on social media.
I'm available on all platforms.
Yes.
Truth Social, track me down.
Brilliant. And next time I want to say something aggressive, I'll just put a winking emoji.
I think that's...
And then it's fine. OK, well, let's have a look at those front pages for Saturday before we crack on. The Daily Mail is running with an Olympic story, La Farce. There you go, bit of French for you. The Times has got Olympics sabotaged. The Telegraph has far left suspected of Olympic sabotage, same story. The Express, Britain conned, massive tax raid on way. And The Guardian has millions of public sector workers set for pay rise. And finally, the Daily Star has nothing compares. This is a story about a waxwork of Sinead O'Connor that has not impressed her brother. Those were your front pages. OK, so we're going to kick off with Saturday's Daily Mail. Steve, what is the front cover looking like?
Yep, they go with La Farce.
La Farce.
Which is interesting, because I didn't know whether it would be La Farce or Le Farce, because, you know what ladies be like. Am I right? Wrong room, all right?
Wrong room.
But despite massive Olympic security, arson attacks on rail network bring France to a standstill as torrential rain puts damper on opening ceremonies. Oh, timing. If they could have just overlapped those two,
yes,
this problem would have gone away.
Did you watch any of the opening ceremony?
Sweet mercy, no.
None at all?
No.
No, it wasn't good. I mean, I saw about 5 minutes and that was it. I mean, it was more like a kind of torture.
Would you categorise it as a La Farce?
I would say La Farce, if I was pretentious. But I'm not. Bruce, I mean, there was a lot of people dancing around in the rain and, you know, even the cameras were sort of covered with the droplets because I suppose they hadn't anticipated that it might rain. But it's an outdoor event. You see, the French think of nothing.
Well, les farce.
Les farce.
Is that incorrect?
Yeah.
Is that superlative, ablative? I don't know. But Celine's been back.
Celine has been there.
So she's not stiff.
No.
She was moving around.
Excellent.
So, because apparently she's got stiffening syndrome.
She has.
Apparently so, which is very harrowing, and no one is making a joke about that, but she seemed mobile. They'd maybe given her cod liver oil.
And you're quite a fan.
Of Celine?
Yes.
Can take her leave. I don't mind. I wish her no ill.
Wasn't
Would you
late.
take a hammer to her?
No, I wouldn't, because you know why? She hasn't done anything to annoy me.
Now, was it a Lady Gaga?
Gaga. Well, I thought they were meant to be doing a duet, and then because there was things that were leaked where they were going to be on a little boat floating around together, but that had Gaga's piano on it.
OK.
So I don't know if there was only room for that and not Celine. Although Celine is so thin, she wouldn't take up any room.
True.
She's like a human metronome.
Now, I don't want to be unkind, Steve, but you remember the sort of Danny Boyle opening of the Olympic ceremony in London, which was so spectacular. Yeah. This looks kind of trashy by comparison. I mean, I'm just saying, as an outside observer.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I didn't watch this because I really just don't care about Olympics, to be fair. But it's going to be difficult to top throwing the Queen out of a helicopter.
You're not going to top it, ever.
Well, never again now.
No.
Well, talking of Tom Daley and cardboard beds.
Was he there in a cardboard bed?
Yeah, there was something to do with him in a cardboard bed and the other divers.
Actually, can I just clarify? I think I was wrong there. The French were meaner to their royals than just throwing them out of a helicopter.
Yes, they did a lot worse.
About it, yeah.
They did a lot worse. OK, well, we're going to move on to the front cover of the Express. Bruce, what have they got?
Well, this is Britain conned, massive tax raid on the way. So this is basically what Keir had promised pre-election. We're not going to increase taxes, we're not going to do this, but that's exactly what they're going to do.
OK. Yeah. We're going to see a lot of this, aren't we? You know, various sort of sniping from the Tories and Labour. Labour saying that you left us with nothing, and etc. This is to do with Rachel Reeves' department, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's Jeremy Hunt saying, hang on, no, she's wrong about this. She says there's a £20 billion black hole, and he says no. And he says this is all just a big con so that she can raise taxes. Jeremy Hunt, the man who was in charge of the highest tax burden since the Second World War, is saying... These people, they want your tax money.
But it's a bit he said, she said. Shouldn't there be transparency when it comes to the Britain's
But
finances.
also, when you're in opposition, you get quite a lot of the info as well. You know,
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
You get pretty much all of it, I think.
So I'm not sure where this surprise is coming from.
OK. All right, very interesting. Let's move on to the front cover of the next paper, which is The Guardian. Who's got this one?
It's me. They have millions. It's almost the same story, just a different slice. Millions of public sector workers set for a pay rise.
Well, they're taking a different... that sounds quite positive to me, the way that they're phrasing that.
If it weren't for the fact someone's got to pay for it.
Well, there's that.
Which adds into this £20 billion massive hole that needs filling. But so actually, just to get all the ducks in a row here,
yes.
This is an independent review. This is a separate body that then suggests how much pay rise it should be. You are right to claim that a 5.5% pay rise is inflation busting.
Yes.
If you compare it to inflation now. They've not received pay rises for so long that if you were to compound up the inflation since then, we've been through 11%. So 5.5% isn't inflation busting if you average it out over that period.
Yeah, but my understanding is that Rachel Reeves wasn't expecting it to be that high.
No.
This was an independent body that sort of set this amount, and they'd earmarked much less for public sector pay rises.
And that's silly.
And that's, well, yeah, but they hadn't anticipated it. But then on the other hand, Bruce, is it not right that teachers and nurses should get paid properly for what they do?
They should, along with the line of inflation, shouldn't they?
Well, I just think they're underpaid, as it is.
They've not received a pay rise for so long, it's not just looking at inflation now. We've been through 11% inflation. Those prices haven't come down. This always gets talked about with inflation. It's when inflation drops, prices don't drop.
Yes.
No,
It's
that's
like
true,
being pulled
actually.
over by the cops
Yeah.
and saying, well, my rate of acceleration drops, so why am I being done for doing 90 and a 30?
OK, well, we've just got time for the last paper for this section, the front cover of the Star.
Yes, and this is Nothing Compares and, quote-unquote, a god-awful waxwork of Sinead O'Connor marking the first anniversary of her death is being scrapped after her brother said it looks like something out of the Thunderbirds.
I mean, it does look like something out of the Thunderbirds.
Well, it looks like a waxwork that's had an awful lot of Botox.
Yes, exactly.
No, it does, though.
Which is not accurate, because Sinead O'Connor didn't do that.
No, she didn't do anything like that. She was able to move her whole face.
Exactly. So, I mean, the gesture was a good one, wasn't it, Steve? I mean, obviously.
But then it was a bit like when they did the Victoria Wood statue. That was a disgrace as well.
Yeah, it looked nothing like it.
So, I mean, gesture aside, get it right.
Get it right. What, Steve, are you a fan of Sinead O'Connor?
That one song, oh, yeah, which actually...
Which one?
The Celine Dion one.
Which one?
Oh, Nothing Compares to You.
Yeah,
the Prince
the
song.
Prince one. Although, to be fair, her version sounds better. It's more emotional to listen to.
Yes, yes.
His version just doesn't quite land, but obviously.
But I sort of feel. I mean, it's the brother saying he hates the waxwork, and that's fair enough. You know,
it's a terrible waxwork.
It is terrible.
Somehow they've made a waxwork that looks more like an e-fit than a human.
Yes.
AI.
Yeah. It's not good.
I'd take a hammer to it.
You would, yes. Is that going to be the slogan?
That
of
is
the
a
evening?
theme.